Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the Best Buy exclusive 4K Steelbook edition of Eternals. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, Marvel's Eternals is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Disney. It comes in a standard edition, available at all your local and online retailers, as well as a Best Buy, Target, and Walmart exclusive. Now, as far as the film itself, if you know me and know my channel, I am a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think all the films have some enjoyable merit in their own way, some better than others. And when it comes to the Eternals as characters created by Jack Kirby, I loved like the old history of the Eternals. Not so much the stuff that was done in more modern times, but going back to the classic Kirby, I really liked it. And when it comes to bringing them on screen from director Chloe Zhao, who I'm also a really big fan of, I was, just hopeful we were going to see something very unique. And I think largely it does succeed. It does have a unique visual aesthetic. The story moves at its own pace, which I can understand some people having a couple issues that it ran a little bit too long. But I really liked it. I think it does have a couple issues, as I said, pacing being one, some character choices another. But I think overall the film works. And I think the cinematography in any Marvel film, it is beautiful in this one above all others. Chloe Zhao really knows how to shoot a film. But this one, I think, has such a unique style to it. I like it a lot. And when I watched it initially on the IMAX screen, I was really impressed with it. And, it's not the strongest Marvel film, but I liked it. I did like it. And I think if you are a Marvel fan, you'll enjoy it. But I can understand why some would feature this as a one and done. So, okay, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment. But first, let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the Best Buy exclusive 4K Steelbook edition of Marvel's Eternals. I like the artwork. It's kind of simple, but I do really like the design. And it's also got a glossy finish to it. And then we have the back, and then the spine. Interior, some artwork on the discs. And we have our celestial friend from the film. So, yeah, overall nice presentation. Now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Marvel's Eternals on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 239:1 aspect ratio. It is finished at a 4K digital intermediate with HDR10 for the grading. Now for the just general look and picture of the film, I think here on 4K it presents a very nice clean picture and free from any kind of anomalies or blemishes. Aside from Thor Ragnarok, generally speaking, Marvel films utilize pretty much a uniform color palette featured throughout their films. Director Chloe Zhao tried something a little different with Eternals. I think overall it does set itself apart in that regard. The tones throughout the film are a little bit more in sepia, but I do feel that when it comes to landscape and clothing, I think it has a nice boldness. It looks natural. And when you get a real good bit of HDR pop, those are reserved for when, let's say, the Eternals are using their abilities, Icarus's eye lasers, for instance, and when Cersei's meeting with Arishem about midway through the film. He's naturally red, and I would say a little bit more vibrant in that area. But generally speaking, HDR is a little bit more on the reserve side, and I think the overall palette really benefits from it. The film's overall look can skew a bit dark at times, even during the daytime sequences, but it's not as egregious as, let's say, the Pirates of the Caribbean 4K that was released last month. This is pretty much director's intent once again, and I think it adds to the overall atmosphere and appearance of the film. When it comes to the natural lighting and a contrast to the darker scenes, I think it looks really well done. And nighttime sequences are appropriately dark and inky with no issues of elevation. Shadow detail is strong, at least on my OLED, but I can see other setups struggling in this area. When it comes to the 4K DI and detail, I do feel there is a modest uptick, especially when I did an A and B comparison to the Blu-ray included in the set. Clothing and costuming I feel are well defined, especially the closer you get, as are facial features. The CGI, let's say the deviants for instance, looks CGI, especially when comparing to the live action elements that are on the same screen. Landscaping looks really good. Even with faraway shots, you could definitely make out that extra bit of detail. Marvel's Eternals on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a Dolby Atmos audio presentation. If you're a 4K collector, you know that Disney, when it comes to Dolby Atmos, can be a little bit problematic. They are definitely not going to be reference quality in any way, shape, or form, but thankfully, I do feel it's an improvement, especially when the last Marvel release, Shang-Chi, suffered so much flatness when it comes to the LFE channel. But this is a good track. I do feel that there's some good dynamic energy in the surround sound environment, and while the LFE channel is not going to be demo worthy, it does pack a little bit more of a punch. The center and front channels are clean and consistent throughout the film with no issues of distortion. Mid-level and rear speakers, once again, are very dynamic, and there's plentiful amounts of ambience to be heard. The action sequence at the beginning of the film when the Eternals are gathered to fight the Deviants, the speech of Makari can be clearly heard running around the soundstage, and when other Eternals are using their abilities, it could also sound very good back there. The height speakers are used both in a complementary and discrete fashion. When it comes to Icarus, for instance, and he's flying around, he can be clearly heard overhead. And near the end of the film, when the Eternal ship is flying, it also has a good amount of activity up there. Thankfully, the LFE channel is nowhere near as flat as the previous 4K release of Shang-Chi was, but it's not quite where it really should be either. One-on-one fights, for instance, don't feel as impactful as they could, but once again, when the Eternal ship crashes down and when the volcano erupts in the third act of the film, it gives you a little bit more force behind it. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Marvel's Eternals on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a B+. I feel the locations used in the film offer a nice richness and they are nicely enhanced with HDR. While colors are not exactly bright and vivid at any given moments, whenever the Eternals use their abilities, I feel those instances, it's nicely enhanced. The movie looks good on 4K with HDR and I recommend it. For the audio mix, I'm going to give this one a solid B. While Dolby Atmos and Disney don't exactly go hand in hand, I do feel this offers a nice overall experience. The surround sound activity is pretty dynamic and everything up front sounds pretty clean. If you're a fan of the film, the audio experience here I don't think will disappoint you. So that is my review of Marvel's Eternals on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. Now it's your turn. If you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.